happy 4th of July to all of you out there. I do want to talk a little bit about the beer we have this week. Mary, if you want to come join in for just a moment.
Oh, yeah.
We do have a very special brew from Stone. This would be the Scorpion Bowl IPA. Mary, did you get a chance to try your Scorpion Bowl IPA?
No, I haven't.
No? Oh, somebody get Mary her Scorpion Bowl IPA. There we go.
Here, someone.
We're gonna try that out. Here,
could you hand that?
You know what? Let's shift this camera.
Could you hand that to me? Thank you.
There we go.
Thank
There we
you.
go. That's perfect.
Thank you, friends.
So we do have our Stone Scorpion Bowl IPA, which is a limited edition IPA from Stone that they put out a little while ago. I've been enjoying it. We actually did a beer review, a Go Tell It to the Brewery beer review of this one a little while ago.
Yeah.
But we haven't had it on an official podcast, and I figured since it's 4th of July, we've got the great Mary Doodles here, who I'm just realizing the camera is a little too tall for you.
No,
Mary.
I think it's perfect.
I think it works better this way. It gives a little extra personality,
I think
right?
it matches
that's
my
the thing.
aesthetic.
It does.
I'm trying to promote myself more as a shorter person, not to say little
Shorter?
person.
Okay.
Because
I
I'm too tall for that to be considered a little person. But I'm getting as close as I can.
This is just embracing your what is your vertical challengedness.
I call
right?
it a vertical gift.
A vertical gift? It's a vertical gift. Mary's not vertically challenged, she's vertically gifted, which is important.
This coloring, by the way.
Are you guys going? Oh.
Okay.
Some friends are heading out of the party. Thank you, Colin and Melody and their lovely children for coming by. Let's do this again very soon, please. You guys are so close. Yeah.
Sorry, my dog is stealing food from your baby.
Let's do it. We got the pool. We got all the stuff. We'll do it. Absolutely. Anyway, so we're getting into it. It's 4th of July. Surprisingly, the fireworks are kind of light this year, which I'm not understanding what's happening with the lightness of the fireworks. Are you a little surprised by that, Mary? You've spent quite a few...
am I directing to this microphone or any microphone?
Any microphone.
Oh, cool.
Really, this one's going to pick us
the whole
both
party?
up.
I want to get the...
We are getting a bit of the party. That's the thing right now. I keep
party
trying to kind of direction our microphones here. So here we're getting a lot of just us. On the live feed, I think they're going to be getting a lot of the party as well. But that's okay. It's 4th of July. We're all drinking. I mean... Who out there isn't drinking too much right now?
And
right?
you throw this on, you're at home alone, maybe you're not in America, maybe you're not American, and that's more than acceptable. We will allow that.
Absolutely.
Just turn this on in your apartment
and have
with
some
your
fun.
Cats, have some fun, play some games, and
absolutely
feel like you're at a party as well.
And it's interesting that you say that, Mary, because Go Tell It to Wall podcast actually has quite a few listeners in Russia.
Ooh.
I don't know why, but we do get some listeners out of Russia, surprisingly. So maybe they're, I don't know, they could just be watching me. You never know what's happening when it comes to the podcast, especially with how much junk we talk about the Orange Menace. They could just be coming after us. Hey, Eric. We got Eric joining the live feed here. Hi, we're going to wave. Like I said, we're just having some fun with the live feed. We're going to put this up as an official Star Spangled episode of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. But as you can tell, we're pretty much off the rails here. Let's get into some stuff that, well, actually, so here's what, we talked about the beer. And let me officially introduce the great Mary Doodles right now.
This is my forehead.
Yes, this is true. That's Mary's forehead. I am fortunate enough that was going to happen. Get off of the Wi-Fi, all of you party guests. I'm trying to do some things. Anyway,
everyone
so that's coming back.
Record
but like I was saying, we do have
scratch.
the great Mary Doodles here. If you're not familiar with Mary Doodles, please check her out on YouTube. Mary Doodles, just search Mary Doodles. You probably have an official, what is it, youtube.com/Mary Doodles?
Yeah, Mary Doodles on everything, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
You can find Mary Doodles everywhere. She is much greater than Go Tell It to the Wall podcast, and we're lucky to have her on the podcast right now, helping us out to get some visitors and everything else.
I pulled myself away from the snack table.
She did.
This very moment.
See, this is the key. When Mary is in your family and you have to make her do these things, you lure her with food. So I fired up the barbecue oven, and beer, and good Stone Scorpion Bowl IPA. Fired up the barbecue this morning, got the beer flowing, and then suddenly I just have a yard full of people here. But it's fantastic. It is 4th of July,
and
like I said, we do have the great Mary Doodles here. No, you're good. So I want to talk about one thing that did happen today, Mary, and I know you're aware of this one, and that would be the woman climbing the Statue of Liberty today in New York. She climbed the base of the Statue of Liberty today, unfurled a banner from what I understand. I didn't actually see the banner.
I believe it was her, and it was a collection of people. She got the notoriety, probably because she was a woman, not saying. No, I think like she climbed up the highest too and gave the authorities a run for their money. But yeah, how do you feel about that? Freedom of expression on Independence Day.
You know, I think it's definite freedom of expression, and anyone that listens to Go Tell It to Wall podcast knows that we are big proponents of peaceful protest.
Yes.
You know,
because here's the thing: if any one of those police officers or rescuers slipped and fell and died in that process of trying to retrieve her, it would suck. Or if she was like throwing things at them and being a total dick. But it seemed like from the footage she just climbed up and was like playfully and being cheeky, like, I'm staying out of the way, I'm not gonna let you get me. I mean, that's fine. I feel like that's valid.
Absolutely.
If it's like, like, come get me, I'm not gonna try and let you get hurt or anything.
Yeah.
But
I would tend to agree with you on that one. And especially, here's a situation where you're not really holding up traffic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, maybe some tourists aren't able to get into the Statue of Liberty in those few minutes, but you're not really holding up traffic. You know, that is one thing we deal with. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, we're having a cold one, right?
I know.
Now, Eric,
we're definitely having a cold one. Thanks, Eric. But one thing that happens a lot, and it happens here, it happens elsewhere, is the blocking of traffic, which honestly, on a personal level, I completely support. I say the whole point of protesting is to cause a stir and make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But here's an instance where it's getting notoriety, and maybe people aren't necessarily feeling uncomfortable, but you're getting that notoriety. You're not really affecting a bunch of people. And I mean, it was all over the place. I got a breaking news thing.
Yeah.
They even did like an update on what happened to the woman. I didn't watch the particular update, but they did that. And so you're not only peaceful protest, but you're not really affecting everyone else that's out there in the world at that exact moment, which I think is helpful.
Here's the thing with that is, and this might be just like a very Los Angeles perspective, because in this town, show business is the business, and a lot of people start thinking in the way of presentation. And so in my shallow way, a protest in a way is sort of presenting. You're representing your viewpoint. And if you protest like a dick, the cause you represent is at stake. And in this case, it was like an abolish ICE thing. You know, it was anti-ICE, anti-raiding families and separating people from their children, which is a terrible, terrifying thing to think. Whether or not somebody broke the law, like, is the reaction justified? Question. And personally, I feel like no, it's an overstep, it's a misstep.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you flip it to like, would they do that to Canadians? I don't know.
Exactly.
As far as the protest goes and like the way you do it, I feel is it's very impactful for what you're representing, and that's just something to think about for all of you out there who are considering protesting in some way. You could do something where you block the streets, the main highways and arteries. You disrupt everyone's day-to-day life and make them feel uncomfortable because, you know, like, to make society around you feel uncomfortable in recognition of someone else's suffering. I get that argument. But at the same time, it's sort of, imagine you're going into Trader Joe's and somebody with a clipboard stops you and wants to talk to you about something, and you're not in the mood, you're stressed, or you're hungry, you're late for something. You know, it's just time and place. Like, someone is interrupting your life, and they can, you know, create an opposite effect of what they actually want. And so I feel like the Statue of Liberty protest, long story short, I think that was charming. I think it was cheeky. It really did affect like the tourists there on the island, but then you get a story. You know, you're going to see the Statue of Liberty. It's 4th of July. You got the whole family there. It's amazing. And then this crazy protester close it down. What? Can't be mad at that. It's fun.
I would absolutely agree with that.
And who doesn't want to climb on a giant statue?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who doesn't want to climb on a giant?
Who does not want to climb that?
Exactly. I mean, everything gets climbed at the burn. And that's interesting that you bring that up, because I think that is an important thing to consider, because as I was saying, it is important to make people uncomfortable to a certain extent.
Yes.
But like what you're alluding to is, you have a point that you're making, but you don't want that point overshadowed. And we've seen how that point can be overshadowed even when you're not doing anything wrong. All the racial injustice protests that happened in the NFL.
Yeah.
Really, this is not making it's making people uncomfortable. It's not affecting what they're doing on a daily basis. It just isn't. No matter what you say, it's not. But people that disagree with it tend to flip that narrative and turn it into something else. And so, with what you're saying, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Because you want to go up to that line, but you don't want it overshadowed by something that is inaccurate.
Yeah, you don't want your actions to become the headline.
Exactly. I think that's the key takeaway there.
You are not the star of the show. Your message is.
Absolutely.
But then again, that's me. I'm a middle child. I'm from Minnesota. So my protests are going to be middle of the road.
Middle of the road protests. I don't think there's anything wrong with middle of the road protests.
I'm aiming for the Goldilocks zone of mediocrity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can all just strive for mediocrity. I think that's a big goal for everybody. To strive for mediocrity, and then if you get further, you get further.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a fun, crazy, creative protest method. Have you thought of methods of protest that you would enact?
You know,
that you would legit act upon, and how you would pull that off?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, how would you protest something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than like marching and retweeting.
Yeah, I always see these marches and obviously the retweeting, you know, and then I could sit here and say that I post videos and record episodes where we talk about these things, but I mean, it's a form of protest. But I don't know. I think that's something that's interesting, and it's political, but it's not, because regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on, it comes down to how passionate are you about certain things, and then what would you do to help enact change on those things.
Right.
It's really it's a good question.
It's a tricky thing, and how hard how close it is, because people who are willing to shut down the freeway and say, I don't care if ambulances can't get to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who's saying, but if you feel very strongly about people who are dying or people who are imprisoned wrongfully, and that's an immediate thing, I get the heat, I get the passion.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, someone acted on it in a way.
Yeah.
But if you are demanding respect, you need to dish it out first. I feel like you need to lead with what you're preaching.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
You need to.
That's a good point too. Absolutely. I think that's important when it comes to enacting change.
Whew, this soapbox feels so good to stand on.
I like it. I mean, seriously. I like it, because here's the thing. Soapbox or not, that's really just common sense. It's really just it's common sense. Stand up for what you believe in, and what extent will you go to for that. And when it comes to protesting, I have a line that I try not to cross, and especially with the unfortunate events that happened in Baltimore, Annapolis, with the Gazette there like a week ago. I find myself in an interesting position where I have a wife and child at home, so I'm a little more cautious when it comes to certain things, whereas I might go a little more over the line if I wasn't worrying about a wife and daughter.
Right.
You know, so those are interesting things that kind of play into that as well, I think, when it comes to as far as what you're passionate about. And I think certain talents coming into, it's using your abilities to protest and try and enact change.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a way of doing it. For you, this is a way of doing it where you can express your opinions. And there's some people out there who can't express these opinions vocally. You know what I mean? Vocally. We've got Elena on the live feed who's complaining about being banned from the Wi-Fi. So here's the interesting thing, Wall fans, common sensors. We do have, I basically banned everyone from the Wi-Fi while we were doing the live stream here.
Okay, basically, Sean gets on his megaphone from Brewing Man and just announces to it's a big party. There are a lot of babies, a lot of children, a couple dogs, some feral creatures everywhere, and Sean just whips out the megaphone and announces everyone should quiet down and get off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It kind of half works.
Yeah. So,
it half works.
You have a whole community of friends to thank for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep adjusting that. It's so funny trying to figure out what's the. There we go. I think that's the best way to go.
I feel I'm not directing my voice
no,
to the microphone.
No, you're good. What I'm trying to pick up a little.
I'm so used to direct camera, so I'm like.
I know. Well, that's always my problem with the podcast is trying to get everything in the right spot and do everything.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, you know what's extra funny?
Hey.
So we have Elena.
Here, if we scroll, we can see your comment.
Don't knock the GoPro over. Wait, let me get. You know, here we're gonna move the GoPro over to here.
Oh, hey.
No, not because of Elena, but I just realized like I had the GoPro setup taken, which we always do for podcast episodes, but it's basically taking photos of my back. And not even seeing Mary.
Oh.
So that's kind of ridiculous.
Because seeing me now
we
here?
need to see the lovely Mary Doodles over
Probably
here.
Probably gonna be like on the very
well,
edge.
now you no here I got it. There we go. That's where we need it.
There we are.
It's just taking stills. It's not doing video. That's what I do. Hey Mookie, I hope you're enjoying your 4th. Man,
Mubarak Hassan.
Yeah, that's my buddy Mookie.
Hey.
We went to film school together.
Right on. Hello.
And he is not in the West Coast time, so it might be. He's a little later on the 4th of July. He might have fireworks starting soon here.
Should we get food?
But it's still tasty Scorpion Bowl IPA.